Okay, guys, we are back with our wellness wisdom segments that we're doing every Tuesday, last Tuesday of the month with myself and with Phil George. He is our amazing biochemist, health coach, personal trainer, all of the things, wellness advocate. And so he's coming on once a month so that we can have these great conversations. So today we're going to talk about healthy aging. So what do you have for us, Phil? Let's get into it.
Well, Kristen, as you know, so I give seminars. So this is right off this the seminar. So and
Okay.
we do the seminars, therefore try to make it fun, right? So we ask questions, we give out prizes, get people involved, we get people laughing and things like that. So the whole point is give you some information, but make it fun, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
So Kristen, you know people hire us as health coaches because they can't see their doctor because it's diagnose and adios. Get you in,
Yes.
get you out. You know what I mean? And here's a drug, here's a procedure. But you and I, we're medical detectives, right, Kristen?
Yes, we are. Absolutely.
We try to get in there and figure out what the root cause of the problem, fix the problem, as opposed to giving you drug after drug after drug.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Agreed.
this is the first slide. I when people are coming into the seminar and sitting down, okay, give them something to look at. So Kristen, why don't you read this for us?
I mean, this one's hard for me to do without laughing. I was focused on the just pee under a tree and wait a few minutes. I was like, Phil, are we on the right slides? So
We
looking
are.
at this, yeah, looking at this, I'm seeing here rising cost of healthcare, now being forced to conduct our own medical exams from home. You've got people peeing under the tree to see if they have diabetes, and that's fascinating. If ants gather, it's diabetes. I would not have guessed
Actually,
that one.
Kristen, that's how the Greeks diagnosed diabetes. That's exactly how they did it. This is a true
Wow.
story. So that's not made up.
Wow. Well, that is fascinating. And if the grass dries up, it's high blood pressure. That's fascinating too. I guess I better check my dogs, Phil, because I'll tell you what, I have some spots in the
Good for your
backyard.
animals too.
Yeah, I was like, woo, okay, maybe that's what's going on in the backyard. If it smells like barbecue, it's high cholesterol. Oh my goodness. And if you forget to pull up your pants, it's Alzheimer's.
See, Chris, the whole point is get people laughing, right? They come in, right? Get a couple
Yes.
of get a couple of chuckles out of them.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so there's me. I'm a clinical biochemist, certified personal trainer, blah blah blah. I'm on with you. I'm on also on Dreamvision, Wellness Wave Radio. I get a TV show, radio show. It's on YouTube. If you just type in Wellness Wave Radio, pretty much anywhere, I'll be on there. The health disclaimer, medical. If this is for informational purposes only, not your against medical advice. Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is a longevity, something called escape velocity. And what happened, Peter Diamandis, who's one of the big futurists, I mean, he looks at stuff. This guy's at cutting edge of all the stuff. He works with Elon Musk and the rest of them. And what he says right now, the biggest thing is slow down aging or even to reverse aging. They are spending billions. That's what the B right now to try
Mhm.
to reverse aging. And Peter Diamandis says at some point in time we're going to reach what's called escape velocity. Remember escape velocity, Crystal, like for the spaceship when it gets out of the atmosphere, it can go like a bat out of hell because there's no
Mhm.
atmosphere. So they figure once we reach a certain level in reversing aging, that what we're able to do, then we're going to be able to live a lot longer. So that's what escape velocity means.
Okay. That's going to be fascinating. And I see that happening now already.
So in other words, right now for each year you live longer, you're gaining with the current science right now, you're gaining 2 to 3 months of life. Okay, in
Mhm.
other words, you're going to live 2 to 3. That's people are aging more and more. Unfortunately, they're not aging healthily. Our
Mhm.
whole goal, Kristen, is to have us age healthily as opposed
Mhm.
to just chronologically.
Mhm.
What happens is when we reach escape velocity, we're going to be 12 months longer. We're going to gain a year basically for each year that we live longer. So it's getting faster and faster. And it says here, aging becomes a solvable engineering problem rather than inevitable decline.
That is a profound statement because I think we have really adopted over time that, oh, it's okay. This is supposed to happen because you've hit a certain age range, right? We see certain declines and we just kind of um, associate that with, well, I mean, you're in your 40s. Of course, your metabolism is going to slow down. You're in your 60s. Of course, your mental faculties might start to decline a little bit and your memory might start to decline. So I love the fact that this approaches it from a different angle and says that does not have to be the case. You know that, Phil. You share that with
I'm
people
going to
all
show
the
you right
time.
now. I'm pulling it up on my phone. Where the heck is it?
Yes.
Da, da, da.
I know for sure, like my grandmother was in her 90s and her mind was sharp as a whip, but she did her crossword puzzles every day. She was engaged in, reading constantly. She worked her mind so much. She was definitely determined to defy the odds on that one.
So I don't know if I'm going to show that this breaks down. This breaks down my biological age. I don't know if it's close up to show. Can they see it close enough?
It's a little fuzzy. Little fuzzy. Oh, we saw something there for a second.
Let me know when.
Tell us what we're seeing, Phil.
Okay. So I have something Aura ring, and it measures your biological age. So I was going to
Okay.
show that. I'm making up. So this morning I'm 14 years younger than my chronological age. So I'm 14 years younger. So
I
the
love
whole
that.
point is, and again, I do all this crazy stuff, and every morning I wake up and I see where I am, and I can
Hmm.
change and things like that. So this other, including this Peter Diamandis, this Ray Kurzweil, he's another big futurist, and again he said this. So they're spending huge amounts of money to do this, and with artificial intelligence, Kristin, this is going to even accelerate even more.
Mm.
So David Sinclair, he's a scientist out of Harvard, and his whole thing out of Harvard is his age reversal. It's to slow things down. I think his biological age, biological age again, is a lot younger than what it is. So let me see, because the trouble is, can I move this? I have trouble seeing the top of this. Oh, yeah, I can move it. Okay, good. This is the call. This is the problem of a copy of a copy.
Okay.
So, Kristin, let's say you want to make a copy on a copying machine, right? And you
Yes.
keep making a copy after a copy after a copy. Eventually, you start losing that fidelity. It's less and less clear.
Right.
So what happens, Kristin, as we age, our cells are constantly replicating over and over again. Okay, it breaks apart. But as we keep doing this year after year after year, at the original state, the success of copies make it worse and worse.
Hmm.
So all of a sudden, where it says, your skin is supposed to look like this, you get the wrinkles, right? You get the wrinkles, you get the sagging, you get this, you get that, because it's turning over, and it's all of a sudden you're not making a good copy of the previous one, and you get a damaged
Mm.
copy. It works the
Okay.
same way. So the problem with aging, Kristin, is making copies of our DNA over and over again. That makes sense?
It does. It loses the fidelity over time. Yeah, it makes complete sense.
So what happens? You can see the original state, and the copies
Hmm.
get worse and worse. So
Hmm.
you guys have probably heard of telomeres. Like the
Hmm.
end of a shoelace, right? There's that little plastic thing. You have the shoes, and over again, what happens, Kristin? If you keep tying your shoes with that little plastic thing,
Yeah, it starts to wither and wear away.
and then you get the little things from the shoelace
Shreds.
going through.
Hmm.
That's what's
Hmm.
happening with your telomeres. Okay, that's
Mm.
what's happening. It's not basically reproducing itself enough.
Okay.
This guy won the Nobel Prize. This is called the Yamanaka factors. So there's basically a set of genes, and what he did, Kristin, he put this inside of mice, and it reversed the mice's age,
Mm.
brought them back. So just imagine this. So inside of your cells, and let's say all of a sudden your DNA is not correct.
Hmm.
These Yamanaka factors go in there and they fix them. They fix them.
Oh,
You're
wow.
wrong. I'm going to change the A to a G. The different parts
Right.
of the DNA thing. And it says this is wrong. I'm going to fix it. So it goes in there kind of like a little fixer factor, and it fixes it.
Okay.
They have this now, and Kristin, this year they're doing too many human trials on this. This year, they're doing
Wow.
human trials. So at some point, It was an old movie. You're probably too young for this. It was with
Mhm.
Raquel Welch in it. It was something to do with the invisible journey. They had this miniature submarine go in the body and it go all over the body and it fixed things.
Oh my
This is
goodness.
this goes back to like the 60s and 70s. So this little gene is going in there and it's fixing all the stuff that's gone wrong. So
Oh
all of a
wow.
sudden you get the wrinkles. They're gonna inject this thing in you. Your wrinkles are gone.
Yeah, I feel like as you were describing that, I saw Pac-Man just kind of going through and chomping everything up. Like, oh, this doesn't belong here. Let's chomp, chomp, chomp over here.
So this guy won the Nobel Prize for this back in 2012. But
Okay.
so what they're working on it now with animals and with primates like monkeys, and
Hmm.
then eventually they're working on people now.
Okay. Wow.
Okay, this is how much money is coming in. So right now, this company, Life Bioscience, is a breakthrough. They come up with all the and they're testing on primates, monkeys, and these are all the genes they're working in to reset. These are all little genes you can send inside your cells to change it. The
Hmm.
human trials are on the horizon. This is an older slide. It's happening now. The breakthroughs in restoring vision. They've done this, and they've had monkeys get their vision back. Kristen, monkeys got their
Wow.
vision back by using this.
Wow.
This is what they're looking at right now to get people that are blind to get their vision back. It's going inside the eye, inside the retina, and it's doing all this little magical stuff. So
Hmm.
the trials are coming. It's
Wow.
commercialized for longevity systems. If you think these GLP-1s are big, imagine how big this is going to be.
Hmm. That's what I was
But
thinking. I mean, my goodness, instead of living to 100, we're going to be at 200, Phil. This is scary.
not scary if you're in good health.
I guess that's true.
Okay, so what do you think? Why does social isolation damage your health?
I think there's probably a lot of reasons, but I'm sure because we're humans, we crave human interaction and connection. And so when you're removing people, you're kind of removing energetic exchanges, you're removing communication. I'm sure depression, anxiety, things like that probably go up. So I'd say it's a combination of many things.
Yeah, you're right. But one of the big ones, and a lot of people don't realize this. Again, we've only been around like this for about 100 years,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
before that, we've been around for millions of years as cavemen, right? Cavemen and
Mhm.
cave women. So the big problem again is the isolation. So what you just said, the mental and physical. So you would have won a prize here, Kristen, and also the shared purpose. But one of my big things, as you know, Kristen, is evolutionary biology. Why
Mhm.
do we feel the way we did? This didn't happen overnight. So this is by being a lonely. It's equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day, Kristen. 15
Wow.
cigarettes. That's how much it impacts. Loneliness increases the chance of early death by 32%. It's huge.
So you definitely would not be making the folks who love to remote work and work from home by themselves happy with this study.
There you go. There you go.
Wow.
Okay, this goes back to evolutionary biology and the reason why social isolation and why community is so big for us. Okay, so question for you, Kristen. So
Yeah.
as a smart monkey, what are our two prime directives? Two things that are really, really important. You can give me one
Now,
or
I've
two.
paid attention when you talk to me. So you're going to tell us it's to produce and not to die.
Correct.
See, I do listen, Phil, even when
Yay.
you think I don't, I do listen.
Survival, number one, not to die, and number two, to reproduce. Because there's a really good book, called Selfish Genes, and what he talks about is again the genes. We want to keep the human race going, but for us, we're selfish monkeys. We want our own genes passed on, so we want to
Mm.
impregnate as many women as we possibly can.
So you're helping all those men out there who you were on their
uh,
team, Phil. We were doing so well.
until this point.
Yep.
Okay, Kristen, I want you to identify as a chimpanzee. Okay, you're a
Okay.
chimpanzee.
Okay.
And you're sitting there, and all of a sudden, this leopard sees you as lunch. Okay,
Mm.
so what are
It's
your
over.
chances one on one against this leopard?
Yeah, I'm not. probably not going to make it, Phil. I'm going to be honest. I'm looking with my mouth open, screaming.
So one of two things happen, Kristen, right? You either
Mhm.
you run away, climb the tree, or he eats you. You got no chance.
Yep,
However,
that's it.
remember that chimpanzees exist in packs. And the
Okay.
reason they exist in packs is because you call all your friends, Kristen, and here they come. Now what
Mm.
does a leopard do?
Yeah,
He
he's like, wait
skedaddles,
a minute,
right?
there's too many of you.
See, so what happens is that's the reason. So chimpanzees existed in tribes of 10 to 15
Okay.
as basically as again as Neanderthals, we existed in groups of 10 to 15. Again, we
Mhm.
share 99% of our DNA with the chimpanzee. We're really smart monkeys at heart. That's why you don't feel safe, Kristen, when you're by yourself. Because in back into your evolutionary biological mind, it's saying, what happens if a leopard comes in here?
Right.
I need my friends to protect me. What's that
Mm-hmm.
Ringo Starr song, Kristen?
Don't
A little
know.
help from my friends.
Oh, yes, I get by with a little help from my
I
friends.
get a,
Yes.
the whole point is that whole song. We should play the song in the background. This is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating when you said that because I immediately thought about how when we are raising our kids, we tell them stay in a group of people. Don't, and women especially, don't go out by yourselves alone. Make sure if you're walking to the car, there's a group of you. It just, I never really thought about the rationale behind it from that perspective. I always just thought, oh yeah, it's just safety precautions. But from an evolutionary biology standpoint, that's pretty deep, and we do it without even realizing it now.
Yeah, it's subconscious.
It is.
So you may have this feeling of anxiety, not know why. It's
Mm-hmm.
non-specific anxiety,
Yeah.
but you don't know why
Right.
because you're all by yourself. And it's what happened back because the genes passed from millions of years ago to us and
Mm-hmm.
hardwired in there. The number one primate is don't die. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it's saying I don't want to die. I may need people around here in case I got attacked by this saber-toothed tiger over here. So
Right.
that's the whole point. So that's the reason why. The other point you made, it also helps with the social cognition because you're talking to people. You got to use your brain and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So those things
Mm-hmm.
those things are all important.
Mm.
This is a tricky one, Kristen. Everybody gets this wrong. Okay, I know what you're gonna. Just give us what do you think your answer is?
I was gonna say you're waiting for the normal, the heart disease. You're waiting for,
Yeah,
yeah. I was gonna say it's usually heart disease is the answer, but I know that that's not the answer.
the
Go
answer
ahead.
is aging is the leading cause of death because
Mm.
what happens is this basically at some point in time you're going to die either from heart disease or whatever, but it's
Mm.
not from there. So again, the biological aging risk for these would be near zero if we can eliminate unhealthy aging, Kristen. We can
Mm.
eliminate all of these.
Mm.
So David Sinclair, the guy I talked about from Harvard, he went to the government agencies, and he said to them, "I wanted to clear aging a disease,
Okay.
and let's cure. Number one cause is aging, so that's what they're talking about. Is basic again. Aging is the soil, in which disease is the plant.
Mm. I always say there's two things that are certain in life: birth
Yeah.
and death. Birth and death. You're born and you're definitely gonna die at some point.
Well, we kind of covered this. So there's a difference between how old you are in years and how old you are biologically. Big
Mm-hmm.
difference. What most people think about is you've heard this, geez, you look so much younger for your age, or you look so much older for your age. That's not a coincidence. Usually it's a pretty good indication of how you're actually aging biologically because your skin and everything else is aging and you're gonna look a lot older than you actually are.
Mm.
Kind of talked about this.
Yeah.
Steve Horvath, he's gonna win the Nobel Prize for this. And he calls it the Horvath clock. And again, people can email me, philgeorge@charter.net. In fact, when I see your lab work, I'm going to let you know what your biological age is. You have all the right stuff in there. So when you get it to me, I'll let you know how old you are biologically.
Perfect.
Okay. So people want to email me. I can figure out their biological age based on again what's called methylation, how you're turning genes on, turning genes off, and they're able to do this also. Comparing it to other things like CAT scans and MRIs. So
Mm-hmm.
this guy's going to win the Nobel Prize for this. So again, there's a big difference between your chronological age. I showed you I'm actually 14 years younger. Actually, I lost a half a year. Yesterday I was 14 and a half a year. And
Oh
I
my
get all the way up to
goodness.
15. I get all the way up to 15 at some point. So
So
I'm
what
kind of like, oh,
happened between yesterday and today, Phil? My goodness.
I was stressed on my interview with you, Kristen. That's what it was.
Hey, you were stressed. You had extra stuff on your plate. You had your show this morning. You had the interview today. Oh my goodness.
See, that's what it is. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm happy. I'm happy.
Nothing a little red light therapy can't fix after
There
the
you go.
show, Phil.
Then he has something else. It's called the grim age. With the grim age, this actually can estimate when you're going to die. So
Okay.
based on that Horvath clock, he's going to say, based on what's going right now, there's another thing called your rate of aging, which I'm going to get into in a second, how you're aging, and there'll be that'll show that in a second. There's a thing now called the Rejuvenation Olympics, and people go online and they use these clocks to figure out how they're aging, and they have contests. And each month they go in there using these particular things. One of the
Hmm.
guys that created this is called Brian Johnson, and Brian Johnson is a multi-millionaire, maybe a billionaire. He spends, Chris, he spends $1 million a year on staying young. Okay,
Wow.
he has a 20-something-year-old son, or how old his son is. And what he does is he takes plasma from his son and he does a reboot, and he takes the old plasma out of his and put the new plasma into him. So a lot of rich people are doing this now. They're doing a plasma diffusions,
Mm-hmm.
where they're putting it in there, they're taking it out. So that's one thing. But he's on all these different things in terms of aging. And what happens is, again, it shows how you're aging, and there's something called rate of aging.
Okay.
Again, so you could be aging a lot less. In other words, for each year, you could only be aging 0.6% of that year. If you're the average person, you're aging for each year, you're aging chronologically, you're aging 1 year biologically. Or you could be accelerating your aging. For each year, 1.4 years, you're aging biologically, even though you're only aging 1 year. Does that make sense, Kristen?
It does.
What happens, the onset happens in your 40s and 50s. And that's when the clock starts going. So it's never too early or too late to change this. Okay, you can change your rate of aging, and we can measure this now. It's not just how you look.
Mhm.
So we talked before the show about the importance of the muscle. The muscle is actually an endocrine organ. This we talked about the exercise snacks. We're going to do a whole show on that at some point, Kristen. So what
Okay.
happens? It's just like your thyroid and everything else. It's an endocrine organ, and it gives off something called myokines. That's the next one. So what happens is, see the myokines here? It's
Mm-hmm.
secreted all of your body, and it tells your body to do different things. So by you exercising and you working your muscle, it regulates a lot of different things. It regulates your metabolism. It raises it raises your in terms of how many calories you're burning, your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. It also helps with your immune health. It tells your
Mm-hmm.
immune system to do different things. So these are all things that are important. Remember, going back to evolutionary biology. So remember, the number one thing is not to be is not to die. So we've been chased by animals all along. So you remember the fight or flight thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either you're going to fight or you're going to run away.
Yes.
What do you need to fight or flight? What do you need to do that correctly?
Adrenaline?
Yeah. And what does adrenaline
Will
go
to
to?
live?
Yeah.
The will to live. It goes
Muscles.
to your entire body. Yeah, it goes throughout
You
your
need
entire
muscles.
body. Yeah.
Because if you're weak, if okay, just imagine two men fighting. The one with the bigger muscle normally is going to win, right? That's why you
Mhm.
want the big muscles. And that's why girls like guys with big muscles, right? They want the
Absolutely.
guys with the big muscles because they're going to fight off all of all the monsters, and to fight off anybody that's coming after them. So if they come in there, the big muscle guy is going to fight off all of the predators. So
Yes.
that's why muscles are so important. And we go before. So these are the mitochondria. These are again are hormones secreted by the muscles, and it acts as a sugar sink. Remember we talked about it sucks in the sugar. So the
Mm-hmm.
more the more muscle you have, the more sugar it takes in. So you're burning calories doing nothing, sitting at home, because your muscles need the sugar because they have to be ready to run away from the tiger or to fight
Mm-hmm.
somebody. They need the
Hmm.
sugar in there, especially specifically in the muscles. Again, that's glycogen. It's storage form of muscle. You need that inside of, and it raises your basal metabolic rate. Also, let people know this. It also acts as an anti-tumor defense. So
Oh,
if you have enough
wow.
muscles, it helps fight off cancer. We talked before about cognition. How about with your mother living a really, really long time? It helps
Hmm.
with the cognition.
Hmm.
And again, the disruption in the mitochondrions can lead to problems with your cognition.
Hmm.
Okay, what's the largest muscle in the human body, Kristen?
Glutes.
Yeah, hooray! Win a prize.
Especially if you got that BBL.
That's what I see at the girls at the gym all the time, Kristen. What do they do?
Yeah.
They want
They
that. They
want to,
want that nice
they
big bump.
sure
All right,
do.
that's what they
They
want. They
sure
want that to
do.
be. So they work on that. So they wear all the booty shorts and everything else,
Yes,
accentuating it.
they're
Because what?
contributing to one of your primary reasons to exist as a human.
Right. The other thing I found this out when I looked up why do men like big butts, and they say the other thing that they found out is because actually it's also a storage form of sugar for the baby. So that's the other thing.
Oh,
So in other words, the man wants a woman that's going to be able to reproduce and to
yep.
be able to maintain her offspring.
Wow. Who knew all of that was happening and nobody knew what was going on?
Again, it's we talked before about the evolution of biology. We have so many things subconsciously that are driving us, you know. And
Mm.
okay, what's the second largest in the human body?
Oh man, you're really making me think this morning. I'm gonna guess your quads, but I'm
Yes,
probably
boy,
wrong.
you a smart bunny rabbit.
Fantastic.
Same reason, okay. It's big muscles. We need to run away. We need to source sugar. All this stuff. It makes sense from an evolutionary biological point of view.
Hmm.
Okay, and okay, we talked before. It acts as a huge sugar sink. It maximizes the glucose uptake, gets it out of there, and it boosts your basal metabolic rate. So if just by building it up, you're burning calories without doing anything. That's why we're going to talk about the exercise snacks on the next month. We'll do exercise snacks, and
I love it.
you want to build this up. And I
Hmm.
gave you a whole bunch of homework, didn't I, Kristen?
You did, and I can't wait to try it all. So I'll have something really good to contribute in that conversation next
Now
month. This is
you
gonna
get a
be
month. We'll
exciting.
see what happens. And
I
you got that
know.
special scale, so we can use you as the guinea pig.
Yes, you can.
Okay, sarcopenia, which is wasting away the muscles, and this
Hmm.
is the big problem. We talked a little bit about that anabolic resistance, where you can't build muscle very well as you get older.
Hmm.
You can't really uptake protein very well when you get older. And what happens with that? Well, people sitting around like sitting is the new smoking. So what happens with that is again, what's happening is you don't have as much muscle to hold you up. So there was a study done, and I asked this question, and almost everybody gets it wrong. In fact, everybody gets it wrong. What happens is, why do people fall down when they get older? Most people say because they lose their balance. That's part of it. And I know we
Mm.
covered this on another show, Kristen, but remember the marionettes where they got the strings holding them up and they're
Hmm.
walking along. So what they
Hmm.
do is they put older people in a room and they put them strings on them, so they
Okay.
wouldn't fall down. And they walked across a floor with tiles on it.
Hmm.
Unbeknownst to them, they were hooked up with all the electronics. They could see what was going on with their body and
Hmm.
everything else. And they found out the reason they fell was not so much because they lost their balance, because their muscles were too weak to hold them up. As they started to slip, they fell. And falling as you get older is really, really bad because you go downhill
Hmm.
really, really quickly because
Hmm.
get you get your muscle get weaker and weaker.
Hmm.
So what happens is again, but the people that were stronger. I don't know if you've had a case, Kristen, where you're walking, maybe the rug is a little tilted and you kind of just start to fall and you catch
Yeah.
yourself.
Yep.
That takes a lot of strength to hold you
Mm.
up because you're going in one direction, right?
Right.
Or Kristen,
That centrifugal force.
imagine if you're over there and I try to push you over. I mean, how much energy is it going to take? Again,
Right.
it's how strong is your core muscles to hold you up. That's why
Hmm.
all these exercise snacks and things we're talking about is so important because it's holding you up, it's preventing you from a fall. That's why exercise is so much more important for older people than they than it is for younger people. And again, what it does is it helps with a whole bunch of stuff with your body. and it helps again with the decreasing muscle fat. We talked about the healthy mitochondria. It also helps producing healthy mitochondria. So these why it's so important to have strong muscles.
Mm.
Okay, we talked about this. Actually, this we talked about this before the show.
Yeah.
Again, this is anabolic resistance. Again, it's resistance to building muscle, and it happens with aging. And these are practical things you can do. And again, I talked before, Kristin, you're going to stay in that anabolic state 1 to 3 hours after you do these particular exercises.
Okay.
Again, it does a lot of positive.
And so important nowadays because, as you mentioned, people are sitting so much more. The jobs, they're not the same. Back in the day, we were out in the caveman worlds, we were moving around. Then, we were hunters and gatherers. And then all of a sudden, we went from being very active to sitting in cubicles or desks and not moving all day long.
And Kristin, I have another suggestion for you and the listeners.
Mhm.
Is what you can do is you can actually take a phone call, you can put a headset on and walk around where you're taking it instead of sitting
Mm.
there, or sit there and get up and down a few times. Oh, the
Okay.
other thing is, have you heard of activities of daily living, ADLs?
Yes.
Okay. So what happens, these are things, in order for you to qualify for a disability, you have to be not be able to do so many of these ADLs, activities of daily living. What do you, out of activities of daily living, what do you think, Kristin, is the most difficult thing to do that you do every day? The most difficult thing to do the average person has to do every day. That goes first.
There's a couple on the list, but I think toileting is probably at the top, right? Being able to go
Yep.
to the bathroom by yourself,
Right.
tying your shoe, I think comes on there.
Yeah. You're right, but the reason is this: is getting out of a chair is the most
Oh
difficult
yeah.
thing to do, and that's where the toilet comes in. That's why you see now people with the little things on the side when they go to the toilet. But they
Yes.
cannot, they have a very difficult time getting out of a chair. Okay. And when I do my seminars, I do this when the people are sitting there, Kristin.
Hmm.
I just look and I say, okay, I want everybody, if you're able, I want you to get out of a chair. And
Hmm.
what do I see? The hands go here, right?
Yeah.
The hands go here, and they lift themselves up, right?
Hmm.
Then
Hmm.
I say, okay, everybody, I want you to put your hands over here. Now I want you to get up. That
Hmm.
eliminates half the population, at least half the population, because they can't do it. Okay. So the most difficult thing to do, because Kristin, you told us already the strongest muscles are the quads and the glutes.
Hmm.
Those are the ones that have to activate.
Right.
So another easy thing to do, again, these exercise snacks, all I want you to do is just get in and out of the chair. Can you do it 2 times? Can you do it 10 times? Okay.
Hmm.
Then if you can do it 10 times, 11 times the next day? Can you do it 12 times? And then you can
Hmm.
see your progress, Kristin. You know what I mean? You can see the progress going on there. What's going
Yeah.
by going over here. That you don't have to join a gym. You don't have to do
Right.
anything. That's all you got to do is just get in and
Hmm.
out, because that's the most. And the other thing, Kristin, you're burning calories. You're burning calories.
You're taking me
So
back, Phil, to my days of when I used to love Tammy Lee Webb when she did her Buns of Steel exercise videos. And that's exactly what she had you do. She had you sitting back and standing up, sitting back, standing up. And you were pretending there was a chair behind you, but you never got to fully sit in the chair. You just kept coming up and down. And now, ever since you shared with us the seminar and how you were having people stand up. Now, every time I go to get out of a chair, I'm always like, I got to do it without the hands because Phil, I feel like you might be around. He's watching.
but see, these are small changes we can do, Kristin, for
Yeah.
everybody. Okay. It's simple. It's
Mm-hmm.
simple. And once we talked about James Clear atomic habits, once you get into that habit, you know, and all of a sudden, if you see yourself reaching for those sides things, no, 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 I'm not doing that. But
Right.
then you can see your progress too, Kristin. You can see your progress to where, I could only do 2 of those yesterday. And
Mm-hmm.
now I can do 3. Now I can do 4. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one simple. The other one we talked about, these you have counters everywhere. You have counters you have counters everywhere you go. You can just do a 10 of these push-ups, of these counter push-ups. The
Mm-hmm.
further you see her feet are pretty far back. That's hard to
Mm-hmm.
do. So if you
Mm-hmm.
can't do that, move your feet closer. Let me move
Mm-hmm.
this thing. Move your feet closer. That's my pointer. Move your feet closer over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
until you can do it. Then go back further. So, and this is relatively safe, right? I mean, because you got a
Hmm.
counter there. So
Sure.
you can do this. We have this exercise. And again, you're staying in that anabolic state where you're building muscle 1 to 3 hours, Kristen, 1 to 3 hours. So
Mm,
you only have to do this every hour, 2 hours to stay in
right.
that anabolic state to keep those muscles going.
Hmm. And I love it because it's a practical solution that somebody who is super busy, who may not have, in their mind, they're thinking they don't have the time to go spend the hour in the gym or whatever. You could just do it right sitting at your desk or at the house. And yeah, that's beautiful.
And here's the second one. Okay, the second one is the squat.
Hmm.
Squat, easy to do, no problem. Up and down, up and down. If you can only do two, do two. If you do three, but eventually, what'll happen is you'll wind up building up, and building up.
Hmm.
So that again, easy to do, free. Just do it on a regular basis, and just you gotta put it. Sometimes you can put up one of those little sticky notepads, Kristen. Exercise snacks. Put them all over the place. Like almost like you have
Hmm.
Alzheimer's disease. Put them
Hmm.
everywhere. So when you wake up in the
Yeah.
morning, have a little thing on the counter. Like the ski pads, exercise snacks.
Yeah.
Put
Yes.
it by your computer, exercise snacks. That'll remind you. Okay, so
Hmm.
these post-it notes. It's free. Put it up there and just do it.
Yes, I love it. And it sounds fun too. Like I love the term. You coming up with that term is great because people like snacks, right? So when you hear the words exercise and snack together, it has a nice catch to it and it makes it a little more fun than just like, oh, I gotta go do squats or oh, I gotta go do, the wall push-ups or the counter push-ups. It just has a nice ring to it.
Right? To remember, and again, that's right. It has a nice tone to it. So true story on this. So again, I go to the gym, 5 days a week. The only reason I don't go today, or because I have the show to do, but it's probably
Right.
a good idea. Probably not good for me to
Which
do
is why
every
your
single day.
age decreased, right? By
I'm absolutely. I bet money.
your
I bet
body
seriously.
knew it was Saturday, so you took a little seat in the back for a moment. On Monday, you're going to be up there again.
Yeah, I'll be there, and I see all my friends at the gym. One guy there, his name is Marty, and I wanted to have him on the show because he would actually, he would verify what I'm saying is true. And he's a tennis player,
Okay.
and so he's out there, but he's 85, 90. He's going on there, but I see him every day at the gym. He's on the treadmill. He's doing different things. I told him to do different exercises, build up muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Came to me, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "You know what? My back is killing me, and I don't know what to do." And so for the listeners out there, vast majority of people I run across that I coach, it's not the problem with their back. It's the problem with their core muscles are too weak. So you can imagine this. You know what a skeleton looks like, right? If you put it up there,
Mm-hmm.
just the bones, all these
Yeah.
bones and discs. The only thing holding up those bones and discs, there's no muscle there. It's your core muscles. It's holding it
Mm-hmm.
up. If your
Mm-hmm.
core muscles, the muscles deep inside of you, are too weak to hold them up, all the strain goes on the back muscles, and that's you start getting back pain and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So normally it's not a problem with the back. I'm not saying that's always the case, but normally it's not.
Sure.
So normally what happens is your core muscles are too weak. So I brought him in. I said, Marty, I'm going to show them how to do a plank, you know, and I want you to try to do it for a minute, try to do it, whatever you can do. You
Mm-hmm.
got to do it. It's got to look good like this, where it's nice and
Mm-hmm.
flat on the back.
Yes.
It's not that's why you need
You're
somebody to
not
watch you.
dipping. Yeah, you're not caving in. You're not
Yeah.
dipping. Yeah.
But you can't tell. In fact, my friend Mark, he's another big gym rat, and I saw him. I says, Mark, your rump's up in the air. You got to flatten it
Mhm.
out. You can't see this. So, in
Right.
fact, I had this. I got a good friend at the gym. She's only in her 30s,
Mhm.
and I said, Katie, I said, can you do me a favor? Am I flat? She says, she said, you're flat, but you're a little bit, your shoulders are too tight, something like that. Minor. It's minor, but unless somebody watches you, you don't know.
Right.
So if you can do a minute on this, you're doing good. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, so I had him do this. Guess what? No more back problems. Back problems gone. Zero.
Yeah.
There's a guy. His name is Stu McGill. He's the number one back expert in the world. He calls it the McGill Big Three. You can email me, Phil George at Charter.net, and I'll send it over to you. There's different, very specific exercises.
Mhm.
I had a lot of back issues. In fact, when I used to drive to Florida every year, I would have to pull over at least once an hour, get out on the bench, and get on my back, straighten it out. It was bothering me.
Okay.
Since I've been doing this, I don't have the problem anymore. So it's cured me and it's cured Marty.
Wow.
So you can email me, philgeorge@charter.net. I've got the mention. I do free consults. So
Hmm.
if you email me, I'll talk to you. We can do it Zoom like we're doing right now. We'll talk to you, no charge. My hope is you see some value in it and you'll hire me. Okay.
I love
What,
it.
what I what I say to Kristen, to all of my clients, my goal is for you to fire me as quickly as possible
Mm.
because I want to get you in, get you out. Not a good business
Hmm.
model,
Hmm.
but but I'm not in it. I'm not in it for the money, Kristen. I'm in it. Actually, it sounds like a goody two shoes, but I'm not. I want to basically help you and get you out. And then you
Yeah.
can say, well, this dopey guy Phil, he showed me this stuff. Maybe I'll get another client out of it somehow. So
I love
that's
it.
you. It's the same thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's not using the same healthcare model that our traditional doctors are using. I think it's so important, Phil, on this one specifically because we have so many people who sit at a desk all day long, right? And so your posture over time, you're hunched over the desk, you're typing, so your hands are up like this, and your form is horrible. So you're putting all this pressure. And the one thing I noticed, and I noticed this myself when I'd sit at the desk, I sit on the exercise ball chairs now. I don't sit on a regular
Good for you.
chair.
Yeah.
And I do that on purpose because I found that when I sit in that regular chair, what happens? Those muscles, your core muscles, they're not working. They're literally just kind of hanging out. So if you're at a desk for 8 or 9 hours, if you could break it up and go start doing some planks and doing things to support or switch out your chair, I think it's so huge because we don't even realize it, but we're weakening those muscles by just sitting there and just kind of slouching or, yeah, it's really important.
I'm going to give you another quick trick. You ready?
Hmm.
Okay. So
Hmm.
I want you to put your arms out like this, Kristen.
Okay.
I want you to put your thumbs towards the back wall, and I
Okay.
want you to go push back towards the back. Okay, both hold it like that for a little while. If you
Yep.
do that every once in a while, it helps with your posture too.
Mm. Yeah, because it pulls you back automatically. Like you
Yeah,
just naturally are like, oh, I gotta go back.
and then hold it there, and then go back and just maintain it. Like go back to
Yeah.
normal. You'll still feel yourself pushed back because there's a
Yeah.
condition called kyphosis, and
Okay.
kyphosis is like the big bump in your back, like the camel back. You're like this all the
Yeah.
time.
Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So that's what happened. Just doing that and then hold it. I'm gonna give you another exercise, Kristen. So
Okay.
what I want you to do, I want you to take a deep breath in and imagine your grip cage going way up and
Okay.
up and out. So you're really extending it. Now hold it there and exhale, but keep it like that. Keep keep the tension right there. You're going to feel what it
Interesting.
does. It does is it opens up your breathing space, but it also helps
Yeah.
with this thing. You can still breathe like that, but you're forcing
Hmm.
yourself to keep
And
that
you're
contraction.
lifting. Hmm.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
lifting.
Oh,
So
I like it.
that's these are all little tricks you can do. So what I do in the morning when I wake up, Kristen, the first thing I do is I'll do that. I'll go. I'm going to expand my rib up, out as much as I can, really, and then I just breathe. But I keep it expanded. I'll do that for
Okay.
2 or 3 times when I'm waking up in the morning to get a lot of oxygen in there. Okay, so a lot
Makes sense.
little tricks.
Yeah, and I'm just, as you're sharing all this, it's just making me chuckle inside because I'm thinking your wife is probably like, I am married to the most interesting individual. Because I can picture you. Excuse me, time for an exercise snack. Hold on, we gotta breathe. Hey, come put your arms back. I can just imagine how entertaining it is to live in your house.
My wife likes to say I'm a treasure of useless information.
I love it. No, it's so important, but so many people don't have the in their mind because they do have the time. It's all about what we choose to do. It's building those habits, and you're showing practical ways to incorporate healthy aging. But it's just so humorous because I'm thinking like I could see people at the office just randomly stopping and doing this in the middle of a meeting, like, don't mind me over here.
This
I
goes
love
back
it.
this goes back thousands of years. This is the Chinese. They in China they do this every single morning. It's automatic. And
Okay.
this gets we're gonna do this together in a second. So
Hmm.
this is what's called the zeta potential. Zeta just means by you cause, and this become out force, it causes an electrical signal through your body, increase your
Mm,
bone density and your muscle density and everything. So it does everything. This is wicked easy. So
hmm
it's called the zeta potential. It improves the blood circulation and reduces, clumping of your blood.
mm.
It's vibrational energy, helps clear the lymphatic congestion. We talked about you, stops with the
I
stagnation,
did
activates the kidney,
kidney
uh,
one, meridian
it's
point.
points for grounding and energy. This is
Hmm
strengthens bone density. We talked about that. It's a thorough, gentle, mechanical stress, and it promotes a sense of feeling of well-being. So we're going to stand up, Kristen.
Okay, let's do it. And it's funny when I see kidney one, I'm laughing because that's the exact point on the meridian we activate when I biofield tune people. I go straight for kidney one to open up your energetic field.
So you want a thump, right? We're ready. Let's do a thump. Can you hear the thump?
Oh yeah, I got carpet underneath me, but I can
Uh,
hear it.
Okay, so that's it. Just go up with your toes. Don't go
Yep,
too forward. Up your toe a little bit, and then make a thumping noise.
I love
You're
it.
making a you're making a thumping noise, and that's basically again that thumping noise is what's going. It's good happening. So again, you get up in the morning. Again, put up your little post-it pads. Chinese heel strike. Uh, you know, um, whatever you want in terms of push-ups. Planks, whatever you want. Put them up on different places. It was it take 90 days or whatever, 30 days, whatever to make a habit. You
Yeah,
do that enough,
27.
it's gonna make a big difference. Because you may think just doing these things, but again, it's 1 to 3 hours. You're getting into that anabolic state again. So
Mm-hmm.
it's huge.
Mm.
Okay, we just talked about this before. Again, it's what's happening is you're in the anabolic window where you're reducing more and more protein, more and more help for your bones. This is really important for women with osteopenia, osteoporosis.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the soleus push-up, same thing. We didn't do this yet. So we're going to sit straight,
Okay.
45 degrees. All we're going to do is we're going to put a lot of pressure on the toes and just lift with our heels.
Okay.
That's it. And
Mm-hmm.
they found out this releases a lot of energy. And again, it's the physiology. It targets the activation of again this particular muscle, the soleus muscle, promotes efficient glucose clearance, and increases lower leg circulation, even while seated. In fact, you want to be seated. Caloric efficiency. The movement adds to again to non-exercise activity. Thermogenesis, which means it builds up heat. Um, Burning calories, again, through subtle repetition. Real
Mm-hmm.
easy to do. Real easy to do. Again,
Yeah.
you're in an office,
You can do this.
easy peasy,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. And it's funny because I never really put too much thought into it, Phil, but I always loved when I went to the gym. I loved this was the exercise, right? You'd go to the machine, you'd throw the weight on it, and then you'd sit there and I'm like, I don't know why I like it. I just like to put my calves up and down. And people were like, what is she doing over there? But I never realized that I didn't link it together with it's really a soleus push up and you could do it without the weight. I just always enjoyed that machine for some reason. It just felt good.
And
Yeah.
again, don't have to be a gym, don't have to be anything. You just
Right.
all you need to do is to do this stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, this is pretty much what it is. And again, you said comfortably raise the heel. You want that thump.
hmm
5 second hold and then back down again.
Okay.
Uh, this is pretty okay. So basically, with the soleus push-up, it optimizes diastolic blood pressure, helps with high blood pressure, reduces cognitive decline again because of the sugar,
hmm
glucose regulation, 52% reduction in post-drink glucose levels, 52% on just this
Wow.
stupid soleus push-up. It's
Wow.
doubling the fat metabolism even when seated. So Kristen's going to help you with fat metabolism.
Mm.
Easy peasy. It's
Yes.
good for mobility. In other words, if you need to sit down or anything like that, it stabilizes that and it improves the ankle stiffness and reflux. It's really important for older people, again, because the soleus fatigue resistance by 50%. So you've got to work on that. because you normally never use the soleus muscle on your own. So you need
Mm-hmm.
to use it. It contributes to slower walking and higher, you know, higher risk of the DVTs, deep vein thrombosis. It
Okay.
also strengthens. Okay, it's funny because I've had a few cardiac vascular surgeons on the show. In fact, he's going to be on again. And what he said was interesting. DVTs, deep vein thrombosis. We have the clots in there, and he
Mm-hmm.
talked about that. And again, he says, you know what? He says your heart doesn't have another muscle down there in your legs. There's no muscle.
Okay.
That's a long way to go. The
Mm-hmm.
heart's way up here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Way down there by your feet. That's a long way to go to push all of that blood all the way back into your heart, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what happens is, by you having those strong legs, the soleus, what it does is it pushes the blood back up. Because what
Okay.
happens is, again, you can have thrombosis in there, you can have clotting in there, you can have all kinds of problems in there because you got little veins down there. So you got to have those muscles strong. The quadriceps, we talked about that. The quads and the glutes, and all those little muscles. You want that. So all that put together is a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the BMR.
Mm-hmm.
How much time we got left, Kristen?
About 5 minutes, maybe
Okay,
six.
okay. This is
I
pretty
know Phil
easy.
and I could do like a whole day. It just is what it is. We have a lot to
So,
say, Phil.
so what happens again, with what happens to collagen is really important because the collagen is the most ubiquitous protein in your body. In fact, I did a thing on this where what happens with women a lot of times they'll start losing their hair because the menopause and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what happens with the menopause, I had a woman in there and I asked her because I worked with her, and she was seeing the hairdresser on a pretty regular basis. And she says, I'm losing my hair. And I said, okay, what I want you to do is I want you to get some collagen. Okay, you can email me, philgeorge@charter.net. You got to be careful with collagen because it could be a
Mm-hmm.
lot of lead in there and stuff. So email me if you want
Yes.
to know what I use. And I gave it to her and I said to her, I said, Donna, I said, how did that work out for you? She said, it worked out great because she was seeing the hairdresser on a monthly basis. She was losing her hair, but since she had the collagen went in there and put the hair back in. So
Mm,
collagen is really important.
beautiful.
Collagen is also really important with again with the osteoporosis and in terms of the osteoporosis, and also in terms of not having enough collagen, because the collagen gets inside of there and it builds up all of the different types of muscle that you have in there, and it helps build it up.
Okay. Big fan of the collagen.
Yeah, and you got to be careful with that.
Yes.
Different. We talk different collagen, the hair, the nails, the skin, all of that good
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And again, we talked about David Sinclair, one of the top guys in there. It helps slow down the aging. This guy's a big guy. He wants to live to be 180 years old. And again, Dave Asprey, he spends a ton of money on this, working on it. This guy's Aubrey de Grey. He also works on this, tons of studies on it. We talked a little bit about the telomere. There's something else we talked before, but the telomeres breaking down. So what
Mm-hmm.
happens with the telomerase, that's actually an enzyme. And what it does, they can put that inside of there, and the telomerase can go in there and it can fix it again to go
Mm-hmm.
back to the shoelaces and putting it back together again. We talked about that. These are
Mm-hmm.
the little things we talked about at the end with
Yeah,
the telomeres. They're able to put them back in together. We talked about the copy to copy. A
we did.
little bit about this. Oh, this is I did a joke with sauna. This is Kelly Hamilton. I did a joke with her. So what happened is Kelly was on your show, right? Kelly was
Yes.
on our show. So
Yes.
her name is Elizabeth Blackburn. So she didn't know I stuck her picture in there and she didn't know it. So our picture was on there. She was not the one that won the Nobel Prize, but she thought it was pretty funny. So I had her in there.
Love it.
And sauna is really important. That's a whole other show. We could do a whole show on that sometime. So in terms of helping out with aging and everything else, and I know you picked up a sauna, right?
I did. I have the steam sauna. I've done a couple of them, but I got the one in that you can like walk into and stand. I had the one where your like hands would come out and you could have your head out. This one you go full body into it. And then of course I love my sauna at my gym too. So yeah, I'm a fan of the saunas.
I do that. In fact, what I do is I actually use this particular sauna. I
Okay.
like this one, and again, I can get you a discount on this. I've used this for years. I
Yeah.
use it just about every day.
Okay.
And what I like about it, it goes to heat, but it also has near infrared lights with those two things.
Okay.
The other thing I like, one of the problems with sauna can be that there's something called non-native EMF or non-native electromagnetic field therapy.
Mm,
It's not good for your body. This is like almost zero. There's no non-native EMF. The other thing, and again, I can pop my head out of there if I want to. The other thing it also has it gives off the again the whole thing with the non-native EMF and also with the infrared sauna. The other thing
mhm.
it does is it also gives a lot of natural frequency given off. So it has a lot of different things it does. So if you're interested in that, I can get you a discount on that. And oh, by the other thing, it increases quite a bit. It increases, I think you saw about this, increases in terms of healthy aging. It's a 50% reduction in heart disease and also to do with Alzheimer's and things like that. It
Mm,
releases something called heat shock proteins, which what happens, your protein get misfolded. The heat shock proteins go in there and it fixes your protein in there too. So it does a lot of stuff in there. So
okay.
that's basically it, Kristen.
That's a lot, Phil. There's so many little habits that you mentioned and steps and things that you can do that are practical that we could incorporate to promote healthy aging. So I hope everybody listening today heard a lot of what Phil said. And absolutely, how can they reach you again, Phil, if they want to talk further?
Again, it's philgeorge at charted.net. Again, I do a free consult. You can just go to Wellness Wave Radio. Again, we have a TV show, we have a radio show. If anybody wants to come on the show, in fact, Chris has been on the show several times.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to come on the show, and we could do it remotely and talk about promote different things. Always interested in terms of people coming on, and even people that are totally non-scientists if they want to come on and share things, that's fine too, because you can do a
Hmm.
lot of help for a lot of other people.
Agreed. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to listen to our wellness wisdom for our monthly conversation where Phil shares all kinds of cool, awesome things. Thanks again for tuning in. Everyone be well and stay blessed. Until next time.
Okay, thanks.